Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
My name is Peter Wright. Can you tell me your full name, please?
My full name is Trang, and my first name is Trang, and my family name is Chau.
And what shall I call you?
You can call me Trang.
And can you tell me where you're from?
I'm from Vinh City in Nhan province in the central of Vietnam.
Thank you. Now, in the first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. Thank you. Let's talk about what you do. Do you work or are you a student?
I'm currently a student at Phan Chau High School for the Gifted. I'm an 11th grader and I'm specialized in English.
Okay. And what's your favorite part of your studies?
I think that I really love study speaking, especially English speaking, because I found that every part of the world has their own accent, and I found that really fascinating.
And how will you use your studies in the future?
Well, because I'm thinking of being a businesswoman in the future. I think that my specialized subject, which is English, and my love for math and analyzing data will have a lot in my future career.
Thank you. Now let's talk about sport. How often do you watch sport?
Well, I'm not really keen on watching sport matches, but I am a fan of the football club of my own country. I think I'm very patriotic, but yes, I usually gather with my family and watch them playing with watch them battling with another country.
And which sports are popular in your country?
Well, as I know, there are a lot of sport like football and basketball, but I think the most popular is probably football. Everyone loves to gather together and watch the football matches on TV, so I think they are keen on football most.
Do you learn sports at school?
Unfortunately, we don't have the chance to learn sport at school. We only do like simple exercises like running or jogging around the stadium. But if we have the chance, I'd love to learn something.
And why?
I really like exercising and playing sport. I used to ask my mother to let me study basketball so I can be more healthy, and I think that sporting is a really good thing to do because it's improve your health.
Thank you. Now I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. And before you speak, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say, and you can make some notes if you wish. Okay, here's your topic and your paper and pencil for making notes. So I'd like you to describe a time when someone helped you.
Yes.
Okay, so remember you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you, and I'll tell you when your time is up. So can you start speaking now, please?
Yeah. I did receive a lot of support in my life, but there is one one time when I really appreciate that person's help. She was not helping me physically, but rather mentally. That was before a really important exam of mine, which I am fighting over a lot of different students so that I can be selected to the national teams. And at that time, I feel really stressful. I feel really stressed because the amount of knowledge I have to take in and I have to remember it was enormous, and I felt that I'm a little bit behind my peers. So at that time, I feel like I was nearly getting depression, but then one of my friends recognized that I was sad and really frustrated. So she decided to talk to me, and she wondered if I can share anything, so I will feel more relief. So I decided to talk to her and shared my opinions and experience. So after that, I felt much better, and I felt more I gained self confidence, and eventually I have the courage to take the exam, and fortunately, I got selected.
Thank you. So, do you believe in helping other people?
Of course, I say yes, because helping is like from our heart, and it's like an action of spreading love, and anyone who give help and give out their support, and anyone who receives the support will feel really warm-hearted.
So we've been talking about a time when someone helped you, and now I'd like to discuss with you one or two more general questions related to this. So first of all, let's talk about helping people. And who do you think is responsible for helping people? Governments or people helping themselves?
Well, in my opinion, I think that each and every person in the world can provide help for another person, like from the very little things like pick up a garbage, or helping someone to get across the road, to bigger things like let them have a loan, or some things like mentally support them. Like, I think it's helping is not such a big deal to have the government fully take the full responsibility for it.
Do you think there is any times or any occasion where you think people don't deserve help?
I think there are actually a lot. Like, many people pretend to be pathetic, or pretend that they are in a misery. So in order to get another people's love and care, so in such cases, they get a lot of help and love and like, care from another person, who actually like they are deceiving others for help. So I think that kind of action is unacceptable.
What's your opinion about the work that charities do? Do you think they do generally good work?
I think it depends. There are many examples when charity are working for the poor, and the people who are in danger, or in misery. But yeah, in that case, the charity are sincerely giving love, and they are like many volunteers devote themselves to helping each other, and that is really appreciable. But there are some charities are pretending to giving love, pretending to helping each other, but actually they are just try to gain public attention, or profits for themselves. I think that kind of charity work is not really like not really acceptable, not really they are not really doing a good work.
Thank you. That's the end of the test. Thank you. So, how was it? How did you feel?
I think it's a little bit more. I felt more pressure when I work under the like when I work as an like I'm acting as an examinee, that is a little bit stressful than just speaking in daily life.
Really? You're more relaxed in daily life, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, you can relax now. It's let me tell you how you did, okay? So for pronunciation, mostly the pronunciation deals with the effect of accent, yeah? And does your accent interfere with communication? However, for you, pronunciation and accent is not an issue. It's not a problem, yeah?
Thank you.
Your accent is perfectly understandable. Your word and sentence stress are pretty high scoring. So overall, I think your pronunciation is a very high scorer, yeah?
Yeah.
And for your grammar, and how do you think your grammar was?
I think that I made some grammatical mistake.
Hmm.
Yes.
Well, don't worry, everybody makes grammatical mistakes, yeah? You can still make a lot of mistakes and score very high, yeah? You got to remember that this is not a grammar test, okay?
Yeah.
It's not a grammar accuracy test. So even though you make mistakes, but you did make mistakes, but you also corrected yourself, yeah, which is very, very good thing to do, very positive. So basically, your tenses were really good, past, present, and future, very few mistakes. And also, what is most important, you had a high range of grammar. So if you use basic grammar, that's a low score, but the more complex your sentences are, the longer they are, with linking words and phrases, the higher your score is going to be. So that's where you are now, yeah? That's where you
Yeah,
are now,
thank you.
okay? Now, what about your vocabulary, lexis?
I think sometimes I did have some repetition,
Okay.
and I don't know if I used the right, if I have the right, appropriate word choice.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that most of the time it was appropriate, yeah? Just a few things like fighting over, phrasal verbs. If you want to study some more phrasal verbs, would be a good idea.
Yes.
And some things like stressful and stressed and whatever, but very few. Now, for increasing your vocabulary, there are many good websites that will show you how to increase your general vocabulary. Yeah, you don't really need to focus on topics, because if you focus on topic vocabulary, it's very small chance this will come in the test.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
so just aim or practice expanding your general vocabulary.
Yes.
Okay, and for the fluency and coherence, what did you think?
I do have some pauses.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And but
Why are you pausing?
maybe it's for like I ran out of ideas, or I found that the meaning of the sentence is not really clear.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I think for the fluency, yes, there were pauses. You usually went or quite a lot actually.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, this would have a negative effect on your fluency score. So as I said before, when you practice your speaking, record yourself, and when you listen back, you will hear how many times you hesitate and paused, yeah? And I think when you pause or hesitate, are you thinking about the topic or the language?
Mm, I think it's about language.
Mm.
Yes. When I heard the question, I already formed the outline of the answers.
Are you thinking about accurate language or
Yes, like the choice of word.
yes, and grammar, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a common thing for most students. They always want to answer in the correct grammar or correct vocabulary, and this causes hesitation. However, next time, try not to think about accurate language. Think about the topic. So the more you think about the topic, the less hesitation there will be. But I think for the fluency, as I said, record yourself, watch videos of high-scoring candidates on YouTube or internet, whatever, and see how little hesitation they do.
Yes.
Okay. So, any questions?
It is really good to read like newspapers and things to improve my vocabulary, or the like the academic words are like too high for this?
No, it's always a good idea to read anything, but reading for enjoyment is the best, yeah? Because you're actually having fun. As for increasing your vocabulary, yeah, sure, you can increase your vocabulary this way, but the most important thing for vocabulary is to recycle, yeah? Is to review again and again, and then use it as often as possible, use new words and new phrases, and yeah, it's a useful thing to do, yeah.
So another I want to ask is like, it, if I replace the and pauses by linking word, like
Yes.
filling words,
Yes.
like or such as or something
Yes.
like that. So
Yes,
is
very
that
good
possible?
idea, yeah. And when you replace the as and the ums with linking words, use a variety. Yeah, the more variety you have, the higher you'll score in your band score. Yeah, it's a very good idea. Yeah, try that, because sometimes it's a little bit distracting when there are too many ums and ahs. Yeah, and it's sort of you kind of lose your fluency and naturalness.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you very much. So my approximate scores for you for fluency and coherence, I gave you a 7. This is, you could have scored more, but as I said, a lot of ums and ahs. Try the linking words next time, okay? I thought your Lexis was very high level, and I gave you an 8 for that. Grammar, again, as I said before, you had good range, very good range, and you also made very, very few mistakes. So again, I gave you a 7. For 8. For pronunciation, I thought your pronunciation was really, really strong. Very little trace of your accent. Sometimes in word stress and sentence stress, you could improve there, yeah. But overall, 7 for pronunciation. So overall, I'm approximately a band score of 7.5.